The District 40 podcast, where voices unite, stories inspire, and leadership comes to life. We bring you the conversations, insights, and laughter that fuel our journey as communicators and leaders. And now, join your hosts, Althea Latang, Derek Boyer, Angela Norman, and Johnny Randolph. Together, they're ready to share, inspire, and empower right here on the District 40 podcast. Welcome to the District 40 podcast, where voices unite, stories inspire, and leadership comes to life. We bring you the conversations, insights, and laughter that fuel our journey as communicators and leaders. And now, join your hosts, Althea Latang, Derek Boyer, Angela Norman, and Johnny Randolph. Together, they're ready to share, inspire, and empower right here on the District 40 podcast. Welcome to the District 40 podcast, where voices unite, stories inspire, and leadership comes to life. We bring you the conversations, insights, and laughter that fuel our journey as communicators and leaders. And now, join your hosts, Althea Latang, Derek Boyer, Angela Norman, and Johnny Randolph. Together, they're ready to share, inspire, and empower right here on the District 40 podcast.
Good morning, District 40 friends and Toastmasters. Happy Saturday.
Yeah.
I know you all are used to seeing us on the fourth Tuesday, but we have a special episode for you on this beautiful Saturday here in District 40. So welcome to our May episode. My name's Althea Latang, and with me on the podcast team, we have Johnny Randolph and Angela Norman.
Hey.
Yes, good morning to you all. How are you guys doing today?
Doing good. The weather seems like it's getting nice outside, so I'm spend some time out. And my daughter just graduated from high school, so yesterday, so we're going out today.
Awesome. Congratulations to her. That's amazing.
Oh, you should take her to Kings Island.
She's not a roller coaster person per se, because if she was and she expressed that she wanted to, I would be there in a heartbeat. I'd hop right on 71 and be right. I would meet you and our guests later on. We go to some roller coasters together.
Yeah. So, last week the weather was kind of crazy, and we should all be used to it living in Ohio. Literally, we can experience all four seasons in the same week, right?
Yes.
But earlier this week, one of our local news channels on their social media posted a picture of the sky and this beautiful bright sun and an arrow pointing to it saying, "Hey, Ohio, remember, this is the sun. This is what it looks like." So basically, we're going to be experiencing some great weather. And so far, just looking outside, it looks amazing. So, hopefully whatever you guys decide to do this weekend, it's something that's outdoors and it's something that's enjoyable. But just want to transition into the podcast because we have a pretty awesome guest with us this morning. But as we do every episode, we'd like to share with you our mission statement. And our mission is to educate and to entertain our listeners and viewers by providing a positive and supportive experience to help our listeners and viewers develop stronger communication and leadership skills. Additionally, we'd like to introduce our word of today. And today's word of the day is simply magic.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah.
It makes sense, right? Magic is a noun, and some of the definitions associated with the word magic is the use of means such as charms or spells believed to have supernatural power over natural forces. Another definition would be an extraordinary power or influence seeming to have some supernatural source or something that seems to cast a spell. And an example of utilizing the word of the day, magic, in a sentence The magic of Toastmasters is its ability to transform nervous speakers, like I used to be, into confident communicators through practice and encouragement. So, today, during our episode, we encourage everyone that's speaking to utilize the word of today, which is magic.
Magic.
Yes.
Like it.
Awesome. Now, with that, I'm going to transition over to Angela Norman to kick off our interview segment to introduce our very special guest. Over to you, Angela.
I'm super excited to introduce our guest today. It's going to be magical. This interview is going to be awesome. I cannot wait. Our guest today helps people think differently, sometimes so differently. They're not entirely sure it was their idea to begin with. Daniel C. Schaefer is an award-winning mentalist, magician, and keynote speaker who spent over a decade helping teams connect, spark creativity, and see new possibilities. Blending humor, psychology, interactive experiences. He's worked with major organizations to create moments that are meaningful and memorable. Please join me in welcoming our guest, Daniel C. Schaefer.
Thank you. It's so great to be here.
I'm so excited to see you. And hopefully I'll see you later today at Kings Island.
Yes, I am going to Kings Island later today.
background information.
It's a magical place. It's a magical
It
place.
is.
Yep.
It is.
Yeah.
All
Sorry, I
amusement.
didn't mean to point out your location in case your fans show up. Okay, so let's get this interview started, Daniel. How are you doing today?
I am doing amazing. It's so great to be here on the podcast with all of you. And thanks so much for inviting me.
I'm excited. We have one more District 40 podcast, right? Until
Yeah.
we're District 211. So
215.
215. Oh my God.
It's
Better
District
get that
11. You
right.
got District 11 probably can with
Yeah.
215. Yeah. That's what it
Gotcha.
probably was.
I connected the two. Okay. Well, this is a good episode. I want to go ahead and ask you, since you inspire so many people, and what inspires you when you're going through your
Inspires me.
process?
One of the big things that I do is I use magic to create connection. And the world needs connection right now.
It does.
And so one of the things that inspires me is every time I step on stage, every time I meet somebody incredible, and I'm able to see the room transform and see everybody light up, and then everybody leave feeling better than when they came. That's something that really inspires me. And just knowing that I don't have the platform to change the world, but I can make a difference just one room at a time. And every time that I show up and I feel myself moving closer and closer to that mission and see the results, that just keeps me going and gets me excited to keep pushing.
Heck yeah, that's motivating. Making a difference in people's lives.
Absolutely. One room at a time. I like that.
Right.
That's all we all can do. One room at a time.
Now, okay, so you do this through magic. I want to say, what tricks do you use to connect your audience beyond words? But if it wasn't magic, like what part of magic do you think? I can't do magic, right? So what do you think helps connect you with your audience through that?
Well, the real trick is understanding how connection works, because there's really three neurotransmitters that we want to create in an audience to leave them feeling connected.
Okay.
We want them to have dopamine, we want them to have endorphins, and we want them to have oxytocin. The oxytocin is one of the hardest ones to get because you can only get oxytocin with vulnerability and authenticity. And so when you step on stage and when you're telling stories, it's those stories that come from your own personal life. It's those stories that people can relate to that create the oxytocin. Yeah. The dopamine just naturally flows from storytelling. And so I use storytelling to release the dopamine. Dopamine leaves an audience feeling focused and then also having that ability to concentrate, having that ability to think a little bit better. And then they also feel good. And endorphins are just a general feel good, and that comes through laughter. And so making sure that the storytelling also has a lot of comedy, getting people laughing, getting people just having a blast. Those are things that leave the audience feeling good. And then the oxytocin is what makes them feel human. And that's what really bonds us together and helps us to feel good. And so a trick that really anyone can do is, if you're on stage, if you work to create those 3 neurotransmitters in the way that you present, then you're going to leave an audience feeling connected at the end.
Dang. I feel connected. What a
he
great.
broke down the science. What was
Yeah.
it? Dopamine, oxytocin, and what was the other one?
Endorphins.
Endorphins.
Yeah, I know I didn't spell that right, but I'll figure it out later. I was trying to take notes. One more question. Okay, so did you ever have a trick go wrong, and what did you do to recover?
It actually goes wrong more often than you would think. Now, the biggest goal is for when something to go wrong to just pretend like it was supposed to happen that way. And so then nobody notices that it goes wrong. The other thing that you do is, my director, he actually told me, you want to address the bagel, is how he did it. And I just posted about this on LinkedIn. The idea that, he tells a story, this big theatrical company, they had worked this long time on this new production, and it was opening night. And they go out there, they're doing a classic Shakespeare, everyone's in character, and all of a sudden somebody throws a bagel on stage. Thunk, thunk, and just lands right there. But because it was opening night, everybody was all up in their heads about, I want to stick to the script, I want to stay in character. And so they just ignored the bagel. And that bagel sat on stage for the entire scene while everybody was just doing everything naturally, the way that it had been scripted. At the end of the performance, all anyone could talk about was the bagel. Because because everybody was just ignoring it. And so what you have to do is you have to just take a moment and address the bagel in character. You point it out, you highlight it, and then you move on. And then if you do that, that gives everyone the ability to put attention on it and then to be able to move on with you. And I first learned this. This was back 5 or 6 years ago. I was doing this corporate event, and during my introduction, now the introduction is part of the experience because the introduction is written in a way that hands the authority off to me. And so it's all part of my process. The CEO of the company, right before he got to introducing me on stage, he says, "Oh, I want to invite this person up on stage." This guy from the audience comes up and then invites his girlfriend on stage and then proposes to her. He says, "Yes." And then everybody's going crazy. They go off stage. He goes, "Please welcome Daniel Sichet."
Right. Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
There's this other
You
guy.
don't do that.
Right. Because all the attention is now focused on the proposal.
Yeah.
But here's the problem. Is it was a brand new show. I had only been doing this one for about 3 or 4 months, and so I was still like really dialing in all the words and everything. So I just stuck to my script, and I didn't address the bagel. And for the first 3/4 of the entire presentation, none of the jokes landed.
No.
You could just feel that they just didn't love me. They hated me.
No.
By the end, it was great. I still got a standing ovation at the end, but it was so rough. And all I would have had to do is just come out there on stage and go, "Everybody, big round of applause for the happy couple. Let's take 5 minutes. Everybody go say congratulations, and then we'll start the show in 5 minutes."
Yeah.
And let the room reset. It would have been completely different. So when something goes wrong, I do the bagel principle. I highlight it. If there's not a way for me to recover it, then I address it, and then we move on.
Yeah, reset. I like that.
That's
Awesome.
That's good for any speech or presentation.
Yeah.
It is, yes.
But I expected for you to become indignant, like, how dare you ask me what went wrong? Do you know who I am? Nothing ever goes wrong in my shows.
Oh, no, I've had stages collapse on me. I've
Oh.
had tricks that didn't work. I've had all sorts of things go wrong.
Oh.
One time, I had the sound cut out as soon as I started, and then we got it fixed. and then it went out again. And then I ended up pulling out my whole backup system, and we paused everything for 15 minutes. And in the process, I had this XLR cable, and it got tangled, and I was untangling it. The metal piece came up and hit me in the forehead, and it cut me, and I didn't realize that I had been cut.
No.
So I ended up doing the whole entire presentation with like this little trickle of blood coming down from my forehead.
You're doing magic with blood coming down. That is
blood, sweat, and tears, literally. Literally.
Way to commit.
Like
Way
he's
to
made a
commit,
sacrifice to get this magic done.
Literally.
And he's bleeding.
But
Right on, man.
we addressed it with jokes, the sound,
Right.
we were joking about it. Everybody was laughing. Everybody had a great time. The sound ended up working. Everything came together.
Yeah.
And so even though it felt like that day, everything that could go wrong went wrong, the bagel principle ultimately saved me because we laughed about it. We joked about it, and it allowed everyone to move with me, have a great time. And it ended up being an amazing engagement.
Which, like, that comes back to like your initial response. Like, you still got those three things going, those three chemical reactions going, and so you're still able to connect. That's pretty
Yes.
cool. Althea, you got anything you want to ask Daniel here?
I feel like that was a really good example, Daniel, of resilience in the moment, right? A lot of times, whenever I can just maybe speak for myself, whenever the speech may not be going as I thought it should, you can see the panic. You can see that I'm frazzled. I'm trying to grapple. I lost my script. But how have you been able throughout the years, as you just shared with us, there's, situations where things may not go as planned. How have you learned in the moment to pivot or to recalibrate in a way that seemed really seamless and part of the plan the entire time? And to me, that is like a magical thing to do. And I hope to hone in on that one day. But what has actually worked for you over the years to kind of weave that into in your process?
A big part of it is practice.
Mhm.
If you have an opportunity to take improv classes, that's really good to sharpen what do I do in the moment?
Yeah.
And if you can't find improv classes, a really great thing to do is, since this is Toastmasters, we'll use Toastmasters as an example. Sign up for a 5 to 7 minute speech. And then when you get up there, ask for 3 different topics and a location. And then give a 5 to 7 minute speech, kind of like a table topics question, but give a full 5 to 7 minute speech and try to weave all of those together. Or you could even talk about one part for a little bit and then ask someone a question in the audience, and then they feed something in, and then create a new story around that new information that was brought in. It's really a muscle. You've got to find opportunities to practice pivoting and practice being able to just change your flow and change what you're doing in the moment. And then another thing as well is practicing your stories, because this was something I learned from Les Brown, is we all have stories and we can keep a story journal. And so if you have a journal where you've documented all of the different stories that you can use in a speech, then as long as you know the stories, all those other moments that connect are things that you can flow with. Like, when I do the message at the end, or when I do, the motivational speaking part, none of that is scripted except for the story. And so I'll tell the story, and then I get to feel the room, and I get to jive with the room, and everything that comes out after that is from the heart.
Yeah.
And the only way that I'm able to do that is because the parts that are the same every single audience, I know them so well that I don't have to think about those. And so then I can focus on being present with the audience. And so I would say just know your stories. And then if you have to pivot, you know how to come back to the story.
Yeah, you're right. It's like a muscle. You got to practice. You got to keep utilizing that thing to get better. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. So a part of your work, you also do a lot of engagement with corporate organizations throughout the US. Do you also go internationally as well?
I've been international a few times.
Okay. So what is the ideal company or organization that you love working with, and why?
I really love fundraisers. I do a lot of corporate events, and I do them in all sorts of different industries. and I actually just looked into the statistics. Most of the ones that I go to, the ones that I do the most are construction companies.
Okay.
But financial, I was just the closing keynote speaker for MetLife about a month or two ago. And so all sorts of different organizations. But the reason I love fundraisers is because I get to see the results right there. I get to lean into the magic, but then the storytelling and the message, we get to connect that with the organization's cause. Yeah. And then in that moment, when we have dopamine flowing, endorphins flowing, and oxytocin flowing, people become generous. Yes. And so we go straight from the show, straight from the message into a raise the paddle. And with that raise the paddle, we can usually raise a ton of money. And so I just did a fundraiser recently where we raised $350,000. And last year they had done 250,000, and their goal this year was 300. So we're able to use these to actually make a difference. And then the reason I love it is I get to look back, and when we help them exceed the goals, I get to see them build the next project. I get to see them actually make the difference in the community and know that I was able to help make that happen.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Awesome. Part of that inspiration. Yeah.
Absolutely. So Daniel, why magic? You know, at what point in your life's journey did you think, you know what, this feels like home to me and I want to explore this? And what was your childhood like when you started, you know, walking that path of magic and making it into this successful business that you have today?
I started doing magic when I was 7 years old. I actually saw Lance Burton on TV, and he said, all right, all you kiddos, go grab a penny. And then it went to commercial. I came back, I had my penny, I was all excited. He said, okay, put it in your hand and then put it heads up. And then take your other hand and wave it over the top and say, Lance Burton, Lance Burton, Lance Burton. And then take that penny and put it under your pillow. And in the morning, it'll be $1. And make sure you tell your folks. And so I put it under my pillow and I told everybody, I was like, Lance Burton said it's going to be $1. And then I woke up in the morning and it was $1. And that was the first time I had ever experienced magic. And that's where I really caught the bug initially. But in that moment, I never thought that it would eventually lead to a career.
Yeah.
You see, something else that was going on is I have autism, but I didn't get diagnosed with that until about 5 years ago. And so I had always felt disconnected, always felt like I was out of place. And as I learned magic, it gave me these tools to be able to interact with other people, to be able to connect. And so when I say that I use magic to create connection, it's really something I've been chasing my whole life. It was ultimately in college where it started to become a career. And it was really just, I was a reluctant entrepreneur. I was a broke college student. I didn't have any money. I was taking summer classes and lost my student job because I couldn't work around my school schedule. And as I was wondering how I was going to pay the bills, I thought, well, I know magic. Maybe I'll go do some street performing. And so I started street performing, and I was amazed because the first day I made almost my entire month's rent. It wasn't a lot back then. It was like $300 for this. It was so funny. My room had a sink in it because it was a kitchen that had been converted into a bedroom.
Oh, wow.
Almost slumlord apartment.
Comes in handy for a guy.
The college days, right?
Yeah.
And so I started street performing, and that's when I realized I could actually turn this into a career. And so at the time I was studying atmospheric sciences, I dropped all of my classes the next semester, and then I took speech, I took broadcast journalism, I took acting, I took stage lighting, and then I think I took a psychology and a business class as well. And I started just creating my own curriculum. And I did that for a semester. And then when they said, we're not going to give you any more student loans because you're not making progress towards your degree, I was like, that's okay. I think I'm set now. And then over the years, it was just, how do I bring more value? And so it went from just doing magic for entertainment to how do we actually change people in the audience? How do we make a difference? How do we actually affect business outcomes like productivity and turnover? And just over the years, meeting with mentors, you know, Les Brown, David Hyra, Paul Draper, all of these people have all had an influence, and it's developed into what you see now.
Yeah, That's amazing. And you talked about how you felt that there was something missing, that there was a connection, a piece along your life's journey. And I feel like magic did that for you. So as much as you are giving to others, it's also giving to you as well. And it radiates through everything that I've seen you do. So thank you for sharing that. Johnny, any questions for our lovely guest?
Sure. So, Daniel, you are firmly entrenched in your career as an illusionist, as a magician. I want to know how Toastmasters influenced what you were currently doing, or why did you even sign up for Toastmasters as you are already an established speaker, communicator, and have a career? Why Toastmasters?
Mm-hmm.
I was first recommended Toastmasters back in college. And I thought, oh, that sounds fun. That would be really useful. I should join that. And then over 7 years, I didn't. And then I ended up getting invited to Voice of Independence. And it was a business lunch that I was having with John Humpert. And he invited me to come in. And I thought, 7 years ago, I said I wanted to do this. So why not? I'm going to show up. And at first, I thought it was going to be a great way for me to practice stories at the end of the magic show, because at the time I hadn't figured out how to really tie everything all in the way that I am now. And Toastmasters gave me an opportunity to really polish. I was able to polish the stories. I was able to polish how I deliver the message. And then when I mentored with Les Brown, that's when everything changed, because before that, every story was 100% scripted. And so I was memorizing the words, and then I was just trying to figure out, how do I take this so it doesn't sound memorized? Mm-hmm. But when you memorize it, it's really hard to make it not sound memorized. And so the custom messages became really hard to make them feel authentic. Les Brown, he teaches how to do impromptu speaking. And that's by learning the stories so well that you can tell the stories, and then maybe scripting the stories, but then you can impromptu make the points after the stories. And because there's more of an impromptu style, Toastmasters has given me the opportunity to really, really practice that. Every single time I go, if there's a speaking slot open, I'll choose it, even if I don't have a message prepared. It'll be like 2 or 3 minutes before, and I'll be, let's see, what do I want to talk about? Okay, let's try this. And I'll pull a story from my story journal and go, I haven't done this one in a while. And then I'll practice telling that story. And Toastmasters is my laboratory. Mm-hmm. I have tried so many different things just to see what it would feel like on stage. Like one time I gave a speech where 3/4 of the speech, I had my back to the audience. Wow. And I was facing the other direction just to see what would happen and see if I could still somehow build a connection with the audience. It failed miserably. Yeah. Do not give a speech with your back to the audience. That rule, it's true. It didn't work.
Jim Morrison did that.
I can say that I was able to figure out, why does it feel that way? I was able to feel, how far can I push this? When does the tension continue to build? When is it unrecoverable? And all of that I was able to learn because Toastmasters is a safe place where you can try new things.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great stuff. Well, Angela asked about what happens when a trick goes wrong. Mm-hmm. I would like to know, what happens when it really goes well? What happens what is the best trick or the best response you've ever received when you've gone in front of an audience?
I love it when my volunteers curse. Because I don't do that at all on stage. And so when I read their mind and I reveal the word that they pulled out of the book, and they go, what the? In front of everyone, and then the audience goes crazy because it's a total break from the feeling of the show. Just this moment of raw astonishment.
Yeah,
it's so great. Those are my favorite moments. Lots and lots of different tricks, and they're all amazing. When I turn someone invisible, I love that moment, getting everyone to work together.
Yeah,
but it's really great when the person on stage is so astonished that they end up cursing in amazement and wonder.
I like it. I like it. Well,
That's feeling.
those are the only questions that I have. Does anyone else
Would you like
have?
to see something?
Sure.
Of course, yeah.
So this is one of the tricks that I use in my presentations. I realized when I was younger, I had this ability that I could bend metal with my mind. It's craziest thing. Here, I'll show you. All I have to do is just focus on it. And it just...
What in the world?
Isn't that wild? Look at that. But what's really weird is if I take it like this,
Wait.
I just sort of folds it out.
I'm so struggling.
Isn't that wild?
Wow.
And so I just wanted to just leave you with a little bit of magic because
Of
I
course.
want to make sure we ask you if somebody was interested, their
Yeah.
company, anybody listening, like, where can we find you? Where can somebody find you to get you to come present?
yeah, so SchaeferMagic.com, SCHAFFER, magic, MAGIC.com is going to be the best way to find me. And then follow me on LinkedIn as well. I'm making a lot of connections, especially as I get ready to relaunch the leadership keynote. You're going to see a lot of different ways of how you can take these principles and apply it to your business and especially become a better leader. You know, we didn't talk about this, but also in my background, some of the other things, I've been an executive director, I have a business degree. And so I take all of these experiences, these actual lived experiences, and I put them to your audience in the form of magic. And so LinkedIn is a great way to follow me. And then my website, SchaeferMagic.com, is if you want to bring me in, reach out there.
I'm glad you spelled magic because I was struggling. Yeah.
Oh Lord.
It was great having you. Thank you so much, Daniel. That was a
It was
lot
so
of
great
good
being
information.
here.
Yes, have a
Thank
great
you. We
weekend.
appreciate you,
Take care.
sir.
Awesome. You all have a great day, and maybe I'll see you at Kings Island.
Yeah. I'll be like this.
All right,
Right.
friends.
We'll see y'all.
Bye-bye.
Have a great one, Daniel.
All right. That was Daniel Schaefer, everyone.
That was crazy. He gave like such good, like precise advice,
Yeah.
like, examples
I
of quickly.
love that idea. So, they always talk about a pocket speech, right? That Toastmasters should always be prepared with a pocket speech. Someone no shows for a meeting, they were your prepared speaker. Now we need a speaking role filled. I love that idea of getting the attendees to kind of help you with the topic. Because I think it's twofold, right? You get to complete your speech, your 5 to 7 minute speech. You also get to practice your impromptu speaking. And then you also welcome audience engagement in that. So maybe, Johnny, I might try that next time at our club meeting. But I'd love to see you go first, though.
Why
Right.
do I have to go first?
Because you are the Randolph Speaker Bureau person.
Yeah, but you can do it as well.
This
Yeah.
will be like 20 minutes long if you go
I
first.
know, literally. Yeah,
Stop
but
it.
I think that's really great advice there. I really
It really is.
I like the idea about the bagel. Address
Oh, yeah.
the bagel. I think that's very pertinent to any sort of public speaking engagement. Because a lot of times when distractions occur, we try to forget about it. Like, oh, well, I don't want to deviate from what I'm doing. And people forget about it. But it's like, if it's big enough and if the audience is cognizant of it, you have to address it. You
Yeah.
have to address it because it's going to serve as a distraction if you do not. So I really like that idea, especially, and that CEO needs to be punched in the face. I'd have a problem with them making an announcement about an engagement before my act or I'm about to speak. Why would you do that?
Wait a minute, hold on. So I missed. Did Daniel say that was prepared by the CEO or kind of impromptu on the CEO's part?
I don't know if he was prepared or not. He just did it, and
Right.
Daniel didn't know about it, right? Or the audience didn't know about it. So now you've taken this audience on this huge emotional high,
Okay.
Yeah.
and then now I've got to come in a complete stranger
Yeah.
and entertain them. So I've got to now spend time taking that energy that's focused on the person that they know and that they like and they respect and bring it back to me. It just made me work a lot harder. That's all. You know, I would have a real problem with that.
Yeah, I probably would too. But I'm sure Daniel was very graceful in that moment.
He probably was. He's very professional. Yeah, he probably was. But yeah, he never do that. Like never do that. It's interesting because I was at my daughter's graduation, and you know, the graduation is great. You know, they go through all the names and everybody's cheering and they're loud. You know, it's such. And then like at the end, one of the people who's like the Board of Education was trying to give a speech. It wasn't long, but it was like nobody cared what you had to say because everybody had already been on these huge emotional highs, and she was saying good things, but like nobody cared. Nobody cared.
Let's get out of here.
Right, let's get out of here. We've come for the reason, and now you know. So like go home, lady.
Yeah. Well, you know, also as a speaker, you know, understanding like when those things happen and how do you maintain your composure, how do you redirect, how do you grab the attention of the audience to kind of shift them back. And you know, sometimes
the whole resetting, like you said, like
the reset. And again, it's be honest about it, right? Like, hey, like you said,
humor,
just humor, congratulations. Yeah, all those sort of things. I thought that was really good information.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So Daniel, thank you again so much for all those gems. I really appreciate that. So for those of you that did not have the opportunity to attend our last District 40 conference, we called it a retreat. You sure did miss a great retreat weekend. Daniel did an amazing presentation during the retreat, and I was left amazed. Just his ability to weave storytelling into illusion, into magic, and the audience that was pulled in to help him tell the story. It was amazing. So Angela, I want to put you out there because your husband was called on to participate in a couple of things during Daniel's presentation. And
he's a giver. Yeah.
Yep. And one of which was this illusion of disappearing. So I'm curious to know what his experience was as he was telling you, recalling the whole episode.
Yeah. Shock, amazement, disbelief.
Yeah.
Connection. There was definitely, he created connection. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I think he had gotten Daniel's phone number at some other point in time during the retreat. And he's just like, I'm going to text him. Like, he's like, I was sitting there and you didn't see me? Like, oh my gosh. So many questions.
I know.
So many questions. I've never lied to my husband so many times.
I appreciate the fact that you just, held on to it so that he could just remain in that amazement. Because like I said, if I was recording Tommy's reaction, it was priceless. It was the best reaction I've ever seen of like a magic thing. So yeah. I was just curious like what he was sharing with you after that whole experience. But
yeah, hey, if anybody has video, just drop it in the comment.
Of his face, yeah. But the weekend was great. We got an opportunity to reconnect with a lot of our district members. We had a lot of, I think this year we had a great number of first timers for the retreat conference weekend. We did our DTM walk, so we get to welcome, I think, what was like 8 or 10 new DTMs.
It was about 8, I thought, but I'm not sure the exact number. It was a good number.
So congratulations to all of the members that earned their DTM during this program year. Great achievement. And, we're steady moving forward to, District 215. But I want to check in with you all to kind of get some of your highlights for the conference weekend we had a couple of weekends ago.
for me, every year that I go through conference, it always seems to have a different theme. Like the first time I went, it was just about having fun.
Yeah.
One time, I escorted the keynote like all around for the weekend. That was really cool. For me this year, it was, and I guess it's always been there, but for me to see the number of professional speakers that we have within District 40 and the professionalism that they have. For example, Daniel, he's a professional speaker. Kay Fittis, Coach Amber Baza, Michael Pope. And I had the opportunity to do a session, and I wrote a book. And so I had a book table, and they had all of the people who had written books or things like that in a table, like a section. Yeah. And when I walked in, I'm thinking like, oh, okay, you know, I got my little book and things like that, and I'm all happy. And then I look and I see like Coach Amber Blaza's got these 4 displays with colors and things, and Michael Pope has this thing, and Kay Fit. I was like, yeah, you got a lot of work to do, Mr. Randolph. Right? Like, and I was just like really impressed at the level of professionalism that I saw at District 40. So that really stood out to me.
Yeah, I think it gives you something to aspire to, right?
Absolutely, 100%. And I don't know if I can't say that it's not the only time but like this was something. This was like a real takeaway message that I had from the conference, and it was great seeing that level of professionalism, and everybody was just so kind in extending information. Like if I asked, where did you get this from, or how did you do this, like everybody, and you don't always get that with people, right? But what's one of the things I say about Toastmasters? They are the best people in the world, and everyone was so generous with their information and their time, and that was something that really stood out to me.
That's great. What about you, Angela? What were some of your highlights from the conference weekend or retreat?
Speaking of professional speakers, I enjoyed Johnny's session. I went to a session. I had a lot of takeaways. I didn't know that you had your book there. You spoke about it, but I didn't know that you had your book over there by all the people.
You probably missed it because Amber and Michael just overshadowed any little thing that I had. I understand. I wouldn't have went to my table when I looked at both of them. I was like, oh
goodness.
We'll put in the comments too, like where you can buy Johnny's book.
Well, actually, you can purchase his book on Amazon.
Yeah, you can purchase it on Amazon, but I was really impressed. I was like, man.
Hey, Johnny, are you on Audible or is it just print?
It's just a reading part. It's just a physical part.
It's and then you can next time you see John, you can get him to autograph it for you.
Yeah, I would love to.
But shout out to Renee Mitchell. She really jumped through hoops and pulled this thing off. And I thought it was just a great venue. Yeah. And it really was a retreat. My family's gone through a lot this past year, and it was definitely a retreat for me. And like you said, everybody's just so helpful, connecting. I just loved it. I thought the food was great.
Let's talk about the macaroni and cheese at dinner time.
Well, let's talk about. I don't know
it's a controversial issue.
You seem like you've been holding something in out there that you want to say. Express yourself.
Okay, so
let's talk about it.
I have I wouldn't say unique diet, but like there's certain food items I don't consume. So, for me, sometimes the pickings were slim, but for dinner on Saturday, whoever at Cherry Valley made that macaroni and cheese, they deserve an award because the macaroni and cheese was delicious. It was good. It was really good. And I think like a couple of folks mentioned that the desserts were really good. The cheesecake, the carrot cake was really good too. But for me, some of the highlights for the weekend obviously is getting to see my people in person. So getting to spend time with Johnny and with Angela and meeting some of the newer members within the district. Also, I enjoyed Jenny Lynn's speech when we got to do the origami thingy.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. So we got to make I don't have my jacket, but we got to make a little origami jacket. That was pretty cool. At first, I wasn't really seeing the vision.
Yeah.
I was
confused.
But finally, when it came all together, it made sense. So I really appreciated that. And I'm like, I've never done origami before.
When it
So
created that connection, like Daniel was
exactly.
talking about.
Maybe
Yeah.
that should have been the word of today's connection.
And we should probably know, like, Jenny Lee did a tour of District 40 all week
Yeah.
leading
That was
up
cool.
to the retreat.
Yeah.
And I attended, I think, 2 or 3 of them, and she was superb every
Yeah.
single time.
Yep.
And if we're talking about connection again, if that's the word of the day right
that's
now.
the new
Magic
word.
ain't right, it's connection, right? And every single venue and event that she went to, she gave a different speech.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
Every single time. She did not have a standard speech where she gave every single time. She gave a different speech that corresponded with whatever theme
Mhm.
of the meeting that she
Very true.
attended.
Very
And that was impressive.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
He seems like a very authentic person, which is
Some
one of
s-
those things.
Very,
Very much so. Yeah. Shout out to you, Jenny Lynn.
Yes.
We really enjoyed you here at District 40. Like, to Johnny's point, like literally, we had her going the entire week.
Oh yeah.
Cincinnati, Dayton, Columbus, and like multiple events each
Mhm.
day. You know, something
Right.
as early as 7 o'clock in the morning and to like late.
And something is like right. Then
Yeah.
7 o'clock in the evening.
And
Yeah.
then folks want to go out after the event to like, you know, have happy hour and
Right.
you know, to be on and to be present and to be engaging and to connect. It takes a lot. So I know she had shared on the episode in April that after the conference weekend or retreat weekend that she was going on vacation. And I think she was going to catch a couple of Broadway shows. So I
Mhm.
love
Oh, yeah.
her to see how those went. But yeah, it takes a lot. And then leading up into the actual conference weekend, and like Johnny mentioned, you know, all the keynotes that she gave were very different and specific to what was happening at that particular time. It takes a lot of skill and practice and just knowing your audience and knowing your material. So yeah, shout out again to Jenny Lynn.
Jenny
Superb.
Lee. Jenny Lee. It's Jenny Lee.
Jenny Lee.
Yeah.
I'm remixing your name, my bad.
Usually I'm the one that's bad with names.
I
Not saying that
know.
you're bad
I've
with
been-
names, but
I've been
you
hanging
know.
out with Johnny way too long, you guys.
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's really bad.
separated.
It's really bad.
It is. It's bad.
Yes. But you know what, friends? Like, I really enjoyed this episode. I enjoyed spending time with you all. I know you guys don't see Derek is here with us, but you know, we're thoughts and prayers with Derek and his
Mhm.
family right now. He did share, you know, his mother unfortunately passed away a few weeks ago. So, you know, our love and condolences to Derek and
Absolutely.
his family.
Yeah.
So whenever you can, just reach out to Derek and just offer that for him. Great guy. Sad that he's going through that, but you know, we're with you in spirit, Derek. But yeah, I think we're at the end of our episode. So District 40, guess what? We have one more podcast episode
One more.
as District 40.
One
One more.
Wow. It's been 12 months already. 11 months. 11 months. Almost
Yeah.
12 months. Wow.
Absolutely. We've definitely flown through this program year. And the podcast team is looking for individuals who would be interested in joining us. So if you have interest in wanting to be a part of the podcast team, please feel free to reach out to me to get the conversation started. We would love to continue this format. It's a great way to connect with district leaders and to help you grow in your confidence as a speaker and a communicator. And also it can help you achieve some of your pathway projects. Right?
Yes.
This could be a project. Absolutely. So please, if you have interest in being a part of the podcast team, we'd love to hear from you. So please feel free to reach out to us. But before we end our episode, I just want to check in with Johnny and Angela for any announcements, any final words before we end our time.
I think we said a lot today. So I don't
Yeah.
have anything.
I think we have a lot of things we can use. Usually we have news you can use. I think we got a lot of that out of Daniel.
Yep.
Lean into people that elections are coming up for the next year.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So-
Do your club elections.
Yep.
lean into inspiring and motivating people, and I get a lot out of this part of the podcast.
Mhm.
Like you said, confidence, but inspiration from the people we get to interview,
Yeah.
the connection that I get to make with you guys. Um, and it just keeps you engaged and keeps you motivated. So I think if somebody's thinking about doing it, like it's a great thing to get involved with. At least for a year. It's just a year.
Just a year. Look how
A
quickly
year.
it went
12 times.
by. All right, friends. Well, with that, District 40, our podcast team bids you farewell until next month. Have a great weekend.
Bye,
See you
everybody.
guys.